Hello, everyone. I am Becca Moore, and you're listening to For the Girls with Becca Moore. Thank you for tuning in another week. I don't have an official intro, but I think big things are happening for this podcast. I am so happy you guys actually listen to this. It's crazy. Like, I love you guys. And I'm in talks with some studios to figure out what the future of this podcast is going to be. The exact same setup, filmed by me, edited by me mostly, but it is a lot of work to edit a podcast all by yourself and do everything but like I do. Well, that's not true. I just hired someone to help me with social clips, so she does social clips, but other than that, it is me that you are experiencing like 100%, and it's a lot of work. So having a studio help out will be awesome. If you don't understand, like if you don't know what a studio is, it's, again, I'm going to be doing everything. They're just going to be helping me with like the behind the scenes stuff. And I don't know which one. I'm in talks with a couple. So I'm just like letting you guys know that I'm so thankful that you guys have helped me get to this point. It's crazy. And you guys are so interactive and I love your comments. I read every single comment. And I'm just so grateful for you guys for like interacting with this podcast. I am doing a Q&A episode today. And you guys asked some great questions, some juicy questions. And today is going to be a juicy episode. They're honestly all juicy episodes to me. I like to tell you guys everything, but it's like more fun that way. So I'm not going to ever stop. So let's get into it. I'm going to start this off with a juicy one. The first question is, did you ever hook up with Harry Jowsey? So I don't know where to start. I've gotten a couple DMs about the Harry, and so is Shannon at this point, so I feel like I just have to talk about it. Yesterday I went on a panel and Harry Jowsey was on the panel as well as me and Shannon, which is dream team, absolute collab of the century. And we were talking about like podcasting, and it was a really fun panel. I'm obviously new to podcasting, so like I was like kind of the newbie girl there, and I don't know why they let me be on this panel, to be honest, but I was there talking to college students and people that were interested in learning from podcasters. And there were other people on the panel too. But so yeah, it was me, Shannon, and Harry and a few other people. And I posted about it last night and this morning. And I noticed that I've been getting weird DMs being like, I can't believe you took Shannon around someone that you've hooked up with before. Like, oh my God, like I wouldn't do that, but you do you. And I'm like, okay. At first I was like, oh my God, they think I hooked up with Dom. Because Dom Gabriel, I think he was also on the panel too. And I was like, oh my God. Even if I did, okay. Here's the thing. When Harry was on Too Hot to Handle, the first season, I don't know how many times he's been on the show, I DM'd him. And that was 4 years ago. I didn't have any followers. The man did not answer. He definitely did not see it. He was doing crazy airtime. Like he was just everywhere at the time. So yeah, I DM'd him like 4 years ago and I said, I'm just going to be real. I said, I want to make out with you. Should I have done that? No. But it was 4 years ago. Ever since I've gained a following, it is a jump scare every time. I never know who I've DM'd, who I haven't DM'd. And it's scary because I was on it during COVID. I was on a DMing spree. I was DMing anyone. Anytime I was watching a new reality TV show, I was DMing the people that I thought were hot. So I DM'd him and I said, I want to make out with you. I ran into him at an event and he was like, he introduced himself. We talked for a second and then he DM'd me that night and he said, lovely meeting you, XX. And that's the funny part. The DM before that was, I want to make out with you. So that was awkward. That was weird. Yeah, that was the extent of it. And then I ran into him like a couple more times at random other events, but the answer is no. We have never hooked up. I don't know who you think I am, but I'm not going to hook up with a guy who's not a girl's girl. I know what he did to the person on Perfect Match. I think her name is Jessica. I didn't watch this season, so maybe I'm incorrect. Actually, I know I'm not incorrect because I know that he was kind of being a fuckboy to Jessica. I don't know if I'm allowed to name names, but I think it's public knowledge, right? I didn't finish this season. I he is just, I don't trust him because of the Riley thing, and I'm sorry, Harry Jowsey. But I just don't trust guys like that, especially like guys on reality TV. I don't know. No, I've never hooked up with Harry Jowsey. And everyone was, not everyone, but like there were people in my DMs being like, the reason people know about this DM exchange that we had, by the way, is because I tweeted it. So I think that's where people were like just assuming that we hooked up because I DM'd him, I want to make out with you. And then he DM'd me like 3 years later to be like, this is a year ago, by the way, that we had this DM interaction. Actually like 2 years ago, maybe like a year and a half to 2 years ago, but it was like literally me saying, I want to make out with you. And then him saying, lovely meeting you. And then me saying, haha, bye. So I genuinely, you guys, nothing happened. Oh my God, I have something under my nail. And even if it did, and I was at an event with Shannon, she would not care. She, at this point, knows every single person that I've hooked up with, I'm pretty sure. And she knows what they look like. She knows like everything about like every story, I think. And we're also like in a secure, like healthy relationship. So even if we were on a panel with someone that I hooked up with, she would not, it would be funny. Like she wouldn't care. It's not like I'm like hiding things from her. I tell her every date I've been on, speaking of date, that is the actual tea. You guys missed out on an entire chapter. Clearly, you guys were off base because the real tea was that Dom was on the panel, and Dom and I have actually been on a date, and I'm so sorry to bring him into this conversation, but I just think it's funny how it goes to show you guys really are off sometimes, and you get so sure of yourselves. It's not just me. I see it a lot with like in the influencer world, like they're just off on the real tea. I went on a date with Dom, Gabriel, from also Perfect Match or Too Hot to Handle. I used to know his lore because I saw him on Perfect Match, I think. I saw him on Perfect Match, thought he was cute, then ran into him at an event in Malibu, and he ended up getting my number, and then we went on a date, and I'm sorry, Dom. Basically, I just told this story about Dom and I's date on a TikTok, and I just was kind of trying to make fun of myself for hitting my head, and I don't think he liked that because he ran into my manager at an event later, and he was like, I have beef with your client, Becca. So I'm sorry, Dom, even though I never said his name. But that was weird walking in. I didn't know he was going to be on this panel. I had no idea. We got a list of who was all going to be on this panel, and I was not prepped to run into Dom because I knew he was kind of upset at me. So it was kind of awkward walking in. By the way, I'm going to have to, I was about to say like I should probably cut this out, but no, whatever. Yeah, it was kind of awkward walking in. Not because I hooked up with Harry, but because I went on a date with Dom. So don't be so sure of yourselves because sometimes you guys are off, okay? Okay? And that's the real tea. Nothing bad happened to Dom. Really sweet guy. Just like, I think I was just like I think I had met someone else or something. I don't know what happened. We went on one date, never talked again. I made a TikTok about him. Didn't say his name, but really I was telling the story of the date and how I hit my head. I hope that's all I said in the TikTok. But yeah, then we have like no bad blood. I'm sorry, Dom, for talking about you again, but I think I'm just trying to make a point that like sometimes you guys are off base, so don't be so sure of yourselves. You don't have to DM Shannon and say, Becca didn't tell you, but she hooked up with Harry Jowsey. Even if we were on a panel with someone that I hooked up, because we were on a panel with someone I went on a date with. By the way, we did not talk before the panel. It was really, really scary. I was like, oh my God, I wonder if he's mad at me. This is so awkward. We're not talking. But then we like ended up making up at the panel. Like it was fine. Good vibes. So yeah, you can stop DMing my girlfriend saying Becca hooked up with Harry Jowsey because I did not. And I am a girl's girl. I don't hook up with fuckboys. I'm sorry, Harry Jowsey, but you've been known to be a fuckboy. So yeah, he's funny guy, but I'm not into reality TV stars anymore. I definitely went through an era. Do I partake in bullying Brett online? Not often. Definitely have before. Brett is my BFF. I don't know what this question means, but I saw other people saying that they wanted him to come back on my podcast, and I will totally bully him into doing that soon, hopefully. Will Shannon ever be on your podcast? So yesterday on my panel, actually, someone asked me this question, or maybe the question was asked, who would your dream guest be? And I said Shannon or Barack Obama. Can't decide which one. I'd love to hear more about the story of you getting your cat. Someone DM'd me and said they had a brown cat, and I'm obsessed with brown cats. I was obsessed with them at the time. And I was also depressed and suffering from like terrible PTSD. So I knew it was like time for me to get a cat. I knew I needed to make a change and like have like a companion with me, like a little furry friend. So it like really just fell into my lap. But like Bear Bear is obviously the best cat of all time. Are you the best cat ever? Heard it here first, guys. So I'm so happy I have Bear Bear now. Another life update. I just feel like I should just be honest. This is so random, but, and it's not even a question that anyone asked. I'm struggling because I don't like my apartment. I don't like my apartment. I didn't like my last apartment though. I think both of them are related to, I think I have a cool layout in this apartment, but here's the thing. The floors are concrete, and I like it's 2 floors. The bottom floor is concrete, and I thought I would like that moving in. I thought it was like a cool feature and like a trendy, like modern kind of feature. It's just depressing though. I don't even know if this was meant to be lived inside of. Like, it's so cold in the morning. I put down a big rug, but it needs more rugs, and it's just like, in order to make this place homey, it's like so much work. I've lived here for like 5 or 6 months now, and I'm like, oh, there's just so much. It's like, not to complain about there being too much space, but there is like too much like wall space. I'm like, what do I do with all of this? It feels like every corner, it's just too big of a space for me, I think. Like, it's like every corner needs to be decorated, or else it looks like really bland and like sad and like depressing. There's not enough light. I am sandwiched in a complex, so like there are units like on the other side of me that like have light, and I don't have a lot of natural light, which sucks. It's like, I never knew how like bad the light was until I woke up. You never really know, and you can look at the apartment, but like you don't know until you like wake up in the morning and like you're like, why is everything in here gray? So I'm definitely struggling with that. I'm gonna make sure the door is locked. I don't know why, I just got a weird vibe from the door. Anyway, I'm trying to make it homier. Today I got a treadmill built here because I also like this neighborhood isn't that good for running, which like is also depressing in it. So I love to run. So it's like, it's just kind of hard to run here. There's so many like, I don't know. So I just got a treadmill, which was nice. And I got like a shelf put in my guest room for sunglasses. I want a sunglasses shelf. And I got a nice fig tree. I'm just trying to do anything. I also like hung up more art. I'm trying to do anything to make it homier. I honestly, you guys, spend a lot of nights at Shannon's house at this point because she just moved into a new place, and like hers just feels more like a house and less like, this just feels like a modern like art gallery kind of place. And it's like gorgeous and pretty, but like it's not very homey. Like the kitchen is tiny, and I'm realizing like I like to wake up in the morning and have like a bright kitchen. There's no natural light in the kitchen. It has to have lights on at all times, and it's just like one tiny little hallway. It's not even like a real kitchen. I don't know. So I'm manifesting a nice new place that I can move into. Like, I'm just manifesting this lease randomly ends early. I know I have 6 more months. Oh my God, I hope I have only 6 months, or else I'm gonna have to break my lease. I cannot stay here for that long. But yeah, I've just been struggling with that. So if anyone has any tips, obviously I think I need to get nicer more rugs to like fill the concrete, but that is what I'm struggling with right now. In case you guys were wondering. What is your sun, moon, and rising? I'm a Gemini sun, Pisces moon, Sagittarius rising. Please tell me about myself in the comments. I love reading stuff about it. It's interesting to me. You know what? I met this astrologer who like, I met him at a bar. He's Shannon's friend. I think his name is David. And he, like, I told him my chart. All I said was like, I'm Gemini sun, Pisces moon, Sagittarius rising. And he immediately just started listing things off about me. And like, he told me literally everything about me. And everything he said was so accurate. It was crazy. He was like, in this life, this character in your life is going to be very important. This person's going to fall back. It was just so weird. I was like, that's crazy. It's making me start to believe in astrology. And he also offered to come on the pod. So I think I might have him for like, just let me know if you guys would be interested in that. I might have him on for like a 10-minute segment. I don't know if you guys care about my specific chart. Actually, this is my podcast. It's going to be about my chart. I guess who else's chart would I do? I think I might have him on for like a 10-minute segment. But his name is David Klein. Go check him out. You can pay him to give you a reading. He's insanely talented. I honestly sometimes don't believe in astrology, but the things he was saying, I was like, that's weird. How do you know that? Also, my mom was a secretary at an elementary school and then a middle school and then a high school. And she said that anytime that there was a full moon, the absences rose by 90%, which is a crazy number. That's insane. So that has to mean that something with the moon, something out there is influencing us. Like the full moon thing is real. Like they rose by 90%. Like people would call out, like they didn't feel like coming to school. Like my mom knew when people like were lying to her, and like the parents were more likely to call their kids out of school during full moons. Interesting fact. So what is my biggest regret? I'm not one of those people that says I have no regrets. I have regrets. I have so many regrets. One of my regrets, this is the worst thing I've ever done, is in high school. I was in choir. I was in choir my whole life from like first grade to senior year of high school, and I loved it. It was really fun. But I needed a ride home from my choir concert, and this is my senior year, and like I was like fighting with you guys know Kenzie, my best friend in college. Best friend in high school, who we were like in a codependent friendship. We would fight all the time. Kenzie was supposed to be my ride home, and she wasn't texting me during the concert, and I was always anxious about being the last person to get picked up, because I was always the last person to get picked up, because my parents were late for everything. My mom if you think I have ADHD, my mother has insane ADHD, you guys. Same as me. It's genetic. And I was scared I wasn't going to have a ride home for my concert, and Kenzie was supposed to get me. So, and we had been on like a performance tour at my choir concert, like my choir group. We were doing concerts at so many churches. So like these performances were like starting to feel less and less important. On our 12th church concert, I snuck my phone and I put it in my music, and I started texting during our performance, and I didn't know that you could tell that I was texting. But the next day in choir class, Mr. Z called me out in front of everyone. I have never felt more embarrassed in my entire life when he called me out, because he was totally right. I should not have been on my phone during a choir concert. I was texting Kenzie saying, are you coming to get me or not? Or like, what's the deal? Because I'm scared to not have a ride home. I'm scared to ask someone for a ride home. Like, I don't know. It was like a group I wasn't like close with. So I was like, I was anxious about it. And I literally was on my phone texting during my choir performance. And I guess if Mr. Z knew, the entire audience knew. I was mortified in class, but like I had to play it cool. I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. But like then I cried when I got home because I felt so bad. And like, how do you apologize over and over for that? Like I burnt the bridge so badly that he called me out in front of everyone, and he was so angry. And like, I loved Mr. Z. Honestly, talking about it, I don't know if I'm going to cry or not. I feel it's one of those things where it's like, there's not even like a reason that should have happened. Like that is so mortifying. The entire audience saw me on my phone, and I was supposed to be performing. It is so bad. Like that's the most evil thing I've ever done. And I feel guilty about it all the time. Like sometimes I'll be falling asleep at night and it'll pop in my brain, and I feel just this massive wave of guilt. Like that is just so disrespectful to the audience, to everyone in choir that wasn't on their phone, and to my choir teacher. And I had no idea, and I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed still. Like every time I think about it, that's when I'm like, I don't understand how people can have no regrets because it made them the person that they are today. I understand like the sentiment behind that, but at the same time, I'm like, there's no reason that should have happened. Like that is ridiculous. Like that's evil, Becca. Granted, I was 17, but still, like, I know 17-year-olds make mistakes, but like that's dark. It's just evil. Like, it's just so evil. That is my biggest regret in life. I have others. There's more where that came from. It's just one of those things where it's like you can't even learn from it. I mean, I guess learn to not be on your phone, be more respectful, but like I didn't learn that. Like I've never been like that. Like that's just I feel like I'm a respectful person around like adults, and like that is just so against like my personality. I feel like as I was always scared of like making people mad at me. You guys, I don't know. If I harp on it too long, I really feel bad about myself for like hours after, and like I feel like a terrible person. So I can't think about it too much. Ugh, I need it out of my brain. I need it out of my brain. I need it out of my brain. I'm trying to think of something happy about myself. Oh my God, I can't think of anything. Ugh. I can't even think of anything good. Literally, it makes me just feel awful thinking about it. You don't know. You guys just don't understand like the look on his face. Like he was so mad, and he was probably mad all night. And like I loved him. I loved that choir teacher, and he never liked me again. That was like the beginning of the school year, and people still remember. People bring it up to me like. It was just in front of the entire class. He was so mad at me. Ugh, okay, sorry. I hated when teachers were mad at me. Do I think I will ever go back to men? Well, I have a full girlfriend. So I'm not really thinking about like if we broke up, what my next steps would be. So I don't have an answer. People ask me that a lot. You guys would be surprised. Here's the thing. I don't get offended by questions. I'm not offended by that question. I'm just trying to like help you guys understand. Like that's just a weird question to ask, you know? But I'm not mad at you, to whoever asked that. People ask me questions and I'm not one of those people that's like defensive about it because I know it's like an interesting subject, my dating life now, because I am dating a woman for the first time and it came out of nowhere. I didn't know I was into girls before her. So ask away. I'm open for any questions. I'm not going to get offended. I'm just letting you know that's kind of crazy. But I have like seen people come out or like a big thing happen in their life and then they get like mad at people for asking them questions about it. And I'm always like, I was wondering that too. I was wondering those things too. So I understand you guys. When you found out you had ADHD and how do you manage your ADHD? And I wish you happiness forever. Thank you. I found out I have ADHD at 23, but here's the funny thing. I was telling Shannon this story last night, and I was like, I have to tell this story on the podcast. I Googled how to fake having ADHD for my appointment because I wanted ADDERRALL. I don't think I can say words of drugs because I got in trouble 2 episodes ago. I got demonetized and in trouble with YouTube. And I don't know what drug I said that triggered it. So I'm just steering clear of saying all drugs. I'm just spelling them out for right now. Yes, I wanted ADDERR. I thought I just wanted it because I needed help doing like random work tasks when I was 23, writing for that website. And I didn't know I had ADHD. And I show up to the psychiatrist, all planned out, ready to go. In my head being like, I just have to convince this lady that I have ADHD. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Immediately I sit down. First of all, I was 10 minutes late. I was late. So already it's like, you have ADHD, girl. I was so not self-aware. She was like asking me these questions and I was prepared in my head. I was like, I'm just going to seem scatterbrained. I did not have to try to seem scatterbrained. I literally sit there. She's asking me these questions. And I remember being like, whatever she says, like I have to use my gut instinct and like decide if that is like a symptom of ADHD or if it's not a symptom of ADHD. Everything she was saying, I ended up being like, okay, this is weird. I relate to everything she's asking me in real life, not in this fake journey of mine, me pretending. I really relate to all this stuff that she's saying. That's weird. Still didn't think I had ADHD. Fully immediately that day, get prescribed to ADDERRALL. She's like, you have it. You have it. In any conversation I have with anyone, they can tell that I have ADHD. And it's also funny because growing up my whole life, not really my whole life, but like in college and high school, people would be like, oh, you have ADHD. And I would say, that's so funny that you think that. I would think that I was like, oh, I must just be really hyper around this person or something. Like they think I have ADHD. I am calmer around other people, I swear. It's not even about being hyper. For me, it's just like scatterbrain. I can't get like a thought out clearly. So, and if I can, I'm proud of myself after, by the way. If I feel like I express myself concisely and in an effective way, afterwards I feel like a high. I'm like, yes. And I also already forget what I'm talking about right now. I literally forget what the question was. And I'm just here. This is how it goes, honestly. And I never make an outline for any episode. By the way, it's 11 at night. I have to wake up at 7 to edit this tomorrow. Did I charge my camera before recording this? No. Did I clear my SD card? No. I just had to stop and delete everything off my SD card. I have ADHD. And while I was taking the ADD, oh yeah, here, now I know what I'm talking about again. I started taking the ADDERRALL, and I still didn't believe that I had it. It didn't sink in that I had it for like 2 years. I honestly didn't believe fully with my brain that I had it until like a year and a half ago to like a year ago to like maybe honestly even 6 months ago. I didn't realize that I had it until it started showing up in like relationships that I was in or like talking stages that I was in. I was like, oh yeah, I definitely have this. I think I realized it like a year into like after I got diagnosed with it. And I hated ADDERRALL because it made me like want more of it at night, like all the time. It like gave me like a weird like addiction to it, but I don't know. I was also 23 and in a terrible relationship and just not in a good place in my life. So I don't know if that was because I was just overall generally depressed or if something inside of it was making me crave more, because it would wear off. Like I would take it in the morning and then it would wear off by the end of the day and then I would want more of it. And that's not what you're supposed to do. Like it just, the effects didn't, they helped me at first and then they stopped helping me. So I don't know, you guys. I am making an appointment. I did get a recommendation from Miss Courtney, average fashion blogger. You guys have seen her stuff. I did get a recommendation for a psychiatrist from her. I want her to give me like any substitutions for what I was on. I don't want to keep saying the word. I'm like scared I'm going to get demonetized. But yeah, I need to like figure out if there's like a different option or like any options ever that I could get on or like anything that could help me, because people are complaining about it in the comments sometimes. They're like, so it like stresses me out, you guys. I know there's something wrong with my brain. Not something wrong. There's nothing wrong with having ADHD, but like it does affect my work and like my life in general. So there has to be a solution. It just doesn't seem fair to live like this. Like I always see those tweets that are like, people with ADHD can't do anything. It's so true. Like, it's just so true. Like, I understand that, like, everyone with ADHD kind of does victimize themselves. They're like, what you don't understand about ADHD? It affects our relationships. Like, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, come on, whatever. But I'm just saying, actually, it does affect my relationship in random ways. Like, I'll forget to text Shannon back randomly for, like, 2 hours. Not that she cares, but, like, I'm like, oh, my God, I replied to that in my head. It affects so many aspects of my life. And it, like, I'm like, there has to be something to help me. There has to. So anyway, yeah, that was my rant. Yeah, I need to figure out a plan or like some solution. Like it's does affect my life really badly. If you guys have any recommendations, please let me know. Okay, what are mine and Shannon's love languages? Shannon, ow. Oh my God, I just hit my nail really hard. My love language is, unfortunately, it is the worst one. Gifts. So random. It's not even gifts. I like little tokens, like little things I can hold. Shannon made me oh my God, I'll go get it to show you guys. Shannon made me a little bear. It's backwards. It's a little bear that she carved me. I love it so much. Anything, like, obviously she took so much time to like carve this because she just started whittling wood. Anything that like, just like a physical token. I love little like things like that. And I think my second one would probably be words of affirmation. Shannon's is physical touch. Definitely physical touch. She's very touchy. Sorry mom, I was not hugged a lot as a kid. My mom had 5 kids and like she was done. I was number 4 and she was kind of like done at that point. Like she wasn't like cuddling me. We didn't hug ever. We still don't hug. Like she picked me up from the airport in like May when I went home, and like she literally awkwardly stood there and like I was like, hey, and she was like, hi. Like we don't hug. Like we did not hug when I landed. So physical touch for me is definitely like not kind of a foreign concept to me. And my mom does apologize sometimes for not touching us enough as kids. Like I just feel like it's not my love language because I don't understand it. Like I understand that people like it, but I don't know. But as I've been dating Shannon for longer, like I do feel that urge of like I want to squeeze her until like she's like I have cuteness aggression. So I understand it more like as I don't know. I understand it more as I in the beginning like I don't when I like love someone, I do want to touch them and stuff, but like in the beginning it was definitely like kind of foreign, like us hugging. She like has to force me to hug her sometimes. I don't understand that it's like a time to hug, and like sometimes she'll hug me in the middle of the day and I will be like, this is a waste of time. I don't understand it. Is there an assumption people make about you that bothers you? I think that if you watched only my TikTok content, especially my old content, you would probably think I'm really dry and not very like, I don't know, dry and like almost cold, but like really like dry humor. I'm definitely not playing a character, but like I'm definitely just like being the driest version of myself on TikTok because I'm cutting it so like much. I'm different than the person I am on TikTok. So I understand, like I'm cutting my videos to make myself look more dry. And I also am sometimes like playing a character. Okay, I'll give you an example. I was at the beach and I saw a sign that said no balloons allowed. And I just like, it didn't even occur to me to like bring balloons to the beach. So I thought it was funny. So I posted it on my Instagram story and I was like, no balloons, I'm out. Like thinking that it was funny. The amount of DMs, you guys, that I got that were like, what is wrong with you? So I kept posting I posted like a DM that someone sent me that was like, there was something, it was like, you're gonna bring balloons to the beach? You evil. Like talking about the birds. I guess like balloons are bad for the environment. I'm not bringing balloons to the beach. I never wanted to bring balloons to the beach. It never crossed my mind to bring balloons to the beach. I don't care about balloons at the beach. I'm not thinking about balloons at the beach. I don't want the balloons at the beach either. I'm on your side. I was posting it because I thought it was funny until I realized it's a real problem. Oh, now I know. Now I'm educated on it because of all the DMs I got. By the way, I'm not involved in this problem. I'm not part of the problem. I've never brought a balloon to the beach. I've never held a balloon at the beach. The amount of DMs I still sometimes get about the balloons, because then I took it a step further thinking it was so funny that everyone thought I was really upset about bringing the balloons to the beach that I posted it on my in-feed thing, and I still get comments that are mad about the balloons on the beach. I posted a bit of Brett. There's a lot of B's in these sentences, aren't there? A bit of Brett making fun of the balloons on the beach sign. Brett was like walking and he was like, no balloons? Let's go. Let's leave. And people were mad about that too. I don't think people get when I'm joking sometimes. So I think that's the biggest misconception that I wish people would understand. Like, I am on your guys' side. I think I should have a weird sense of humor where, like, it's not even weird. I just think it's because I'm a girl. People think I'm being serious all the time. I'm joking. I don't post things that are not either jokes or me when I just think I look cute that day. Or rare. So I'm not posting anything that is not a joke. I'm not going to post things just to post. I've never been like a mass poster where I'm just like posting everything. I just wish you guys would understand. It's not all of you. Most of you guys know when I'm joking, but there are a few that get mad at me or think I'm being serious. So I think that's the biggest misconception about me. What is my favorite pizza topping? Cheese, because I'm a vegetarian. What's the biggest misconception that you once had about the gay community? Maybe that everyone was friends with each other. I don't think I thought that like directly, but like subconsciously kind of, yeah. Like I thought like all the lesbians in one area would probably be friends. Little did I know. These girls, they have drama. Do I like the drama? Yes. I think it's amazing. I'm so invested in these girls' drama. And the gay guys too. Oh my God. There's just a lot of drama with like the gay community. And I always thought like everyone was going to be friends. And there's also like some tension between sometimes lesbians and gay guys. We were one time out. I'm telling you guys all these good stories today. One time we were out and this gay guy came up to me and like started, like me and Shannon were like secretly dating at this time. Not really secretly, like all of our friends knew, but like the public didn't know yet. So like, anyway, we were out and this guy comes up to us and he was gay. He was talking about being gay. Then he looked at Shannon and was like, Jesus, you are like a beautiful model. Like you are like something about you. Like you look like a model. Like you're gorgeous. And then he looks at me and he was like, and you just look like a basic blonde bitch from Ohio. And I was like, oh my God, I am from Ohio. Like I was like, how'd you know? I didn't get offended at all. But Vanessa, Shannon's best friend, was like, do not talk to her like that. Do not talk to her like that. And then I learned, well, they were like kind of educating me. They're like, sometimes gay men do feel like they have the like authority over women to like even I love gay men. I'm being for real. I really like gay guys. I think they're so fun. I love gay men. Some of my best friends are gay men, but like random gay men on the street sometimes do like insult women because they think it's funny, or like they're just like a little bit misogynistic in the way, like obviously I didn't get offended by him calling me a basic blonde bitch from Ohio, but when I think about it, I'm like, I think that is kind of like how some of random gay guys on the street talk to me sometimes. Like and I don't take it offensively because it just always feels like they're trying to be funny, but really it's like not a joke. Like they're mean to girls sometimes. So anyway, I learned that too. I learned that you're allowed to stand up for yourself, even if it's like a gay, like funny guy, you know, like you're allowed to be like, don't talk to me like that. Is Bear the first pet that you've had? So growing up, I had a dog, and my mom bought me a cat when my mom and dad got divorced because my dad's allergic to cats. So I think it was like there was a revenge aspect to it. When she got me a cat, and I was 8 years old, and I loved him. His name was Jack, and we had a dog, a family dog named Colby, a golden retriever dog. So it was like Colby Jack. Isn't that cute? Colby Jack. But Bear, and also you guys, I had 2 rats. You weren't expecting that, were you? I think I just wanted to get them because I wanted to impress my mom because she was obsessed with, she thought like rats were so cool. So because I wanted to get a hamster, but my mom was like, rats are smarter. And then she like convinced me to get rats. It's so weird. So weird. So I had a rat named Tinkerbell. And then when Tinkerbell passed away, I got a rat named Clooney. And thinking about that now, it makes me kind of want to be sick because they scare me now. At the time, they didn't scare me. I don't really know. That was weird. Bear is the first animal that I've had that has just been mine, and I am the only one responsible to take care of him. So he is my first adult pet. I look like the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and how do I feel about that? Yeah, Shannon says that too. She says I look like one of them. I think they're beautiful, so I'm going to take it as a compliment. I do think it's just because of my hair extensions, though. I do think that. But someone told me I remind them of Macy. I don't know if they meant looks-wise or like character-wise. I hope character-wise and looks-wise. I love her. But yeah. How did my family handle me coming out? They were very accepting. Everyone was very accepting. I think I've answered this some other place, so I'm just going to be brief. But yeah, I told them at my stepdad's lake house, and all of them kind of took it in stride. My mom and sister thought I was pregnant because I was acting weird, but yeah, they were very sweet about it. I wasn't ever pregnant, but it was just because I said I had something to tell them, and they were assuming it was that I was pregnant because I was acting like it was really serious. Other than yourself, what was your favorite relationship Shannon had with her ex? What? Why would I answer that? LA forever or would you move? I like LA for now. I don't think I would live in like where I'm living now in LA. Actually, it's like I live in a cute area, but like not this neighborhood, obviously. Yeah, I don't know if I'll live in LA forever, but it's nice to live here. It's just annoying with the traffic, and like I do like fantasize about living like in a different town, but all of my friends are there with me, and like randomly my family's there too. Like everyone's there. So I don't know where I'm going to live like long term, but in the next like 5 years, I'm sure I'll stay in LA. When do I start acting exclusively when seeing someone? When do I start, or like in general, when do people start? Because I become exclusive the second that I decide that I like someone. I am not interested in anyone else. Yeah, but that's just a me thing. I wouldn't obviously like cut myself off from like, I guess if like, I don't know. Yeah, if I really like someone, I'm exclusive with them. I'm not interested in like going on like random dates with other people just for the sake of going on dates with other random people, you know? Do I work out a lot? I try to work out like on the weekdays if I have nothing that morning. So like no, like not really. I have never been to like a Pilates class, which is crazy. I want to go, but I do Pilates like in my house, like on YouTube. But I just feel like I've missed the train on the Pilates thing, and I live right next to a Pilates studio, so I definitely should. But I think I'm like nervous. It's like I'm like too late. Like I feel like I started way too late, you know? Do I want kids? Yes. Are you ever self-conscious of how others perceive your intellect? No. I guess I don't really care. Like if someone thinks I'm stupid, I think it's kind of funny. So I don't get offended. I don't get offended by stuff like that. No, I don't anymore. I think I'm starting to care less and less what people think. That's not true. I was about to start a sentence and the end of the sentence was not going to be true. So, are there any parts of dating a woman that you didn't expect to like but do? Yeah, there's so many. I love like how bestie friends we are. Like there wasn't things that I would expect not to like. I think I was just nervous about like random things about it. Like I was nervous about hooking up. I was nervous about like gender roles. Like I think I was nervous like what I don't know. I was just nervous that I would feel uncomfortable with things, but I've never felt uncomfortable for a second. Like uncomfortable in the sense of like gender roles and like who pays on the date or like am I supposed to like I don't know. It's like is there a different format of dating a woman? But no, it was like literally so seamless. Never awkward, never uncomfortable. Always like we're just very communicative, and I think that is what was lacking with like a lot of men in general. I think that they do lack in communication. Not even lack, but like I think women are just better at communicating and being effective with our emotions and like or like communicating effectively about our emotions and also like being more in touch with our emotions and like able to talk like fix issues. We're definitely very like problem solving, like very healthy. So anyway, no. That's not even a question. That's not even a right answer. No, it's not an answer. What was the thing? Oh, are there things that expected not to like? Yeah, yeah, but they ended up being like false things that nothing bad ever happened. It's been awesome. So, okay, I'm going to do a viewer question now. Okay, so I've gotten multiple questions about this subject, and I'm choosing this one because the message was so sweet, and I really appreciate you. I know I think you gave me an alias, like a fake name, but in case you didn't, I'm going to change it again because I'm scared that it's not. So Lauren, I'm going to call you Lauren, but your email was really sweet. I'm not reading the full thing because I feel bad just like reading compliments to myself for everyone to hear. So, okay, I'm going to start here. I'm happily in a relationship with a guy and have been for 10 years. Ew, I know, you don't have to say it. I'm going to say it. Listening to you talk about being bi or gay, however you prefer to label it, I'm like, holy shit, I'm definitely bi, but I've always sort of known since college too. The dead giveaway. I check the bloody box and census type things to ask my sexual orientation. Like you, I'm such a lighthearted person and convince myself it's all for the laughs. My man knows about it and he's the coolest guy ever. He just understands me and never questions further, feels threatened, or asks for threesomes or anything. I love him, but I can't shake this idea that maybe I also need to go date a girl. But then I think this is just classic grass is greener, human with wandering eyes type of mentality. I think I want to explore it, but it could be out of my own curiosity and not because I'm unhappy. My stupid idiot man makes me happy. Anyway, what do you think? Should I just focus on bettering my current relationship and talking with him about it as well? Also, an unsolicited idea for you. Your viewers, like myself, are obsessed with you. I know you have biphobia. I do too, but it would be great if you could reassure us from time to time that we aren't just indecisive performers. Maybe even encourage us in the way you'd want to be encouraged. The LGBTQ plus culture out here really tries to isolate us. The irony. You can be the voice for us, and I know there's many of us who would rally behind you. We just need more support and love. That was sweet. That was very sweet. I think you're right about the last part. I think that I am obviously struggling with internalized biphobia. I talk about it. You guys know this. And yeah, I should do a better job. So yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with being bi. I am bisexual. It's hard for me to say sometimes. I just think it's like other people are lucky that they can like be so sure about their sexuality. And like, sorry if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm filming the rest of this on my phone because my camera died. But yeah, I do think that people are lucky if they just know exactly what they are. And for me, being bisexual, it's like hard for me to like, I just wish it was like an easily digestible thing for like people to understand. Being bi is like not taken seriously in general. So it's like, and also I'm just a lighthearted person in general. Like I just think things are funny, and I think it's funny that people hate bi people so much. So part of me making fun of myself being bi is like a joke. I want you guys to understand that it is not like embarrassing to be bisexual. Like it's cool. Like at this point, a lot of people are bi, or a lot of people, very many people are bi. Most people are bi, but a lot more people are starting to realize it, and I think that's cool that people are starting to realize it, like I did. Anyway, you guys don't really care about this rant, I know, but if you are in a relationship with a guy for 10 years and you are like starting to wonder, I think being in a relationship with someone for 10 years means you guys have such a strong foundation. And I do think like, I mean, I know I give like radical advice, but like, or like radical answers, opinions to like your guys' questions sometimes, but I think that you should ask if you can like explore your sexuality and like maybe take a break, because I do think this guy sounds awesome, but like you should be allowed to like he totally has the right to like not want to stick around if you're gonna take a break just to explore your sexuality, but like you just don't want to have regrets, especially if you guys aren't married or have children yet. I think this is the perfect time and probably the only time in your life that you can freely explore your sexuality. And I believe you that he's a great guy. So I believe that he will understand that. Like, I think that it's unfair. Like we are only on this earth for like so long, and it's like it would suck to not get to be able to like explore your sexuality, you know? Especially if you feel like it's gonna affect your relationship down the line and you're gonna be confused later on. I think you should ask if you guys can either like take like a hiatus or maybe like open a relationship. Ugh, I hate the thought of like an open relationship. So I don't know. I just think you should be allowed to explore your sexuality in whatever way that means to you. And I support you either way, and I want to hear an update, but my opinion is to ask him what he thinks, and it can be an open discussion, and like you can be like, if you totally don't want to do this, I totally understand, but like here's what I'm struggling with. I think communication is so important. And just tell him the truth that like you're confused, and if he's a good man like you say he is, then I think that he will be open to that, you know? Especially if you've been together for 10 years, you guys have a foundation. Like, it's not like, you know, you guys are strong. It sounds like you guys have a strong relationship. I think he would be okay with it. So, and if he's not, then you can just date girls forever. I don't know. Okay? Just saying. All right. Well, thank you, Lauren, quote unquote. That was a really nice message. And yeah, thank you all of you for tuning in. If you love me, rate this 5 stars. I love you guys. Goodbye. I'll see you next week. So yeah.